Hello everyone. In the previous session, we saw about Java strings, like how we can declare and how we can process the string, how the string is internally represented in the memory, so that and how we can process, like how we can convert string into character array and how we can print in different ways. Okay, and we also saw like string is a default. Uh, uh, it has default methods, like it has some utility methods, we can say. So using that we can perform certain things. So something like we saw there is a length method that we can use to like to work with strings. You should know some basic methods that are available within the string class. Okay, and a caret. So there are like that. There are some more methods we will try to understand in this session. Okay. So let's see. So these are all different methods, and most of the things are commonly used methods. So for example, we saw caret, length, is empty. Like that, we have starts with, ends with, index of, last index of. So and also we have a concat, substring. So we will see split. Okay, contain. So there are many methods. Like we also talked about two lowercase, two uppercase. Okay, so like that we have different methods. Don't worry, like based on the need, we will just go and use that method. Okay, okay, let's. So whatever I am writing code, that I am also pushing into uh, submitting into Git code, GitHub, so you can see the code. And yeah, okay, fun. Okay, no issue. So now I'm taking one more class to demonstrate string methods demo. Okay. Till now, like we are trying to understand language basics. Okay. So language basics like what are data types, variables, how we can declare and use them, how like arithmetic operators, the operators that are supported in Java, and how to use the operators. And then we looked at conditional statements like if else, like that, switch. Then we looked at looping statements, for loop, do while, and then we looked at arrays, how we can declare an array, how to use array, how to process array, and then we are looking at a string type, like how to work with strings, what is string. So this could be the last session for the Java language basics, and then we will move into uh, core Java features like object-oriented programming is a main heart of Java. So that is where it is different from other languages. So yeah, we will start with that future sessions. But for now, in this session, we will try to understand Java methods. I mean Java string methods. Okay, so let's say string, the previous example, for example, message. Hello, how are you? Okay, and now what we want to do, we know how to print the values, right? And we can print simply, we can print using I mean, normal print statement, like using this message. So when you run this, okay, we have to run this as a Java application. Okay, so that's good. So now we just print. Now what we want to do, we want to count, like count all the characters. For example, I mean, using how to get the length of the string. So using length method dot length. So using this, it will give the size of the string. Okay, we will just okay. So how we can get the length of the string using length method. Okay, this is one method that we can use, and we very basic like suppose we want to do so capital, like if you want to convert everything into caps like uppercase. So in that case, we can simply say message dot to uppercase. Yeah, if you set to uppercase, it will print everything in a capital letters. Okay, let's run this. You can see everything is caps now. So similarly, we can print in a lowercase. There is this to lowercase. So to lowercase another method. You can run. Actually, Java, this Eclipse is very useful because when you say dot, it it will suggest methods. Suppose if otherwise you can say control tab, control space if you do, then also you can see all the suggested methods, and then you are saying to lowercase. Suppose if you don't know anything, then you can simply go to internet and search how like how to do a string into lowercase. So there will be a lot of suggestions on Java doc also you can get. So only thing is what you want to do that you need to understand. Then you can find ways to do. Okay. So this is how it prints lowercase. Now suppose I want to check whether uh, a string starts with a particular character. So starts with. So we want to say starts with. You can put even string. Okay, or I think okay, it is string input only. So whether you can just say whether it is starting with the H or not. So okay, we want to say we need to get the output also. Otherwise, what it is doing we don't know. So usually it should say starts with. Okay, let's go inside the starts with. So the return type is Boolean. Okay, so that means it will return true or false. You can also, whenever a method returns something, we have to catch the value. I mean, the result. So when you run this method will get run. And then when there is something called return or return type, then we can assign that response back to particular variable. So here the return type is integer, so the variable also should match with that return type. So here the starts with returns boolean, so that's why we have to have a boolean variable so that the result will be saved properly. So let's run this. So you can see true because it starts with h. Suppose if you say small h, it will not correct because there is a difference between small h and capital H. So that's why it is giving false. So in that case, what you can do, suppose if you don't want to have case sensitive, I mean, either small h or capital H, we are okay. In that case, you can use logical OR because at least one is true, then it is true. So that is how the logical OR works. And end of the result for logical OR also is Boolean only. So that's why we are okay. Now let's run this. You can see it is true because though it did not start with small h, it started with capital H. So either of the condition is true, that's why it is true. Okay. So that is how we can use multiple conditions also. And then what we can do, let's say I want to I want to count I want to count how many hedges are there. Okay, count hedge. Okay, so let's say small program. We are not doing very complicated for now. We are doing just a very basic count. Okay, count hedge. How many times it repeated? How many times it is there? So what we in the previous session we know like how to process by each character. How to process a string by each character. So that is like we have to start from zero index because string also starts with zero index, and then we know the length of the string using this length method, and then we want to go one by one, like one index at a time. So that's why we have, yeah. So this is how it is, and then we can, for now, we'll just print each character. How to get a character in a string? So using a caret of I, because we want I is the index in this case, so that's why. So let's print this. So you can see it is printing h each character. So what we want to do, we want to count. So let's say count is also an integer. So this is the result variable where we want to store the result. Initially the count is 0 because we are not yet done. Now, so what we want to do, we want to do the count increment. Count equal to count plus 1. This is a short notation. Okay. Now let's print. So count of h. Okay. And count. Okay, let's print. So count of h is 19. So this is not correct, right? So we have only 1 and 2 capital H count. So this count should not increment always. So this count should increment only when this condition meets. Only if the character is H. Okay, so that is what we want to do. To apply any conditional based logic to execute, then we have to use if condition. Okay, so that's why we will use this. Not starts with because we know how to get a character like character of I. We want to check this character is equal to H. So we know comparator, right? Like how comparator operator. So equal to is for comparing. If the character is equal to capital H, then increment the count. Otherwise, don't run the block of this code. This if it fails, it don't run this. It will simply print. Okay, now let's run this. So you can see the count is 2 because it is working fine, right? Because it is counting only when this condition is true. So in this case, we understood caret length. Okay. So these are the methods starts with. So that is these are a couple of methods, and also we saw two lowercase, two uppercase. Okay. Now what we will do? Let's take one more example. Okay. Okay. So what we can do? Uh, Okay, we will take one example that is full name. So full name is for example Sachin Tendulkar, or maybe we will, yeah, okay, let's say Okay, that's okay. We will take Sachin Tendulkar. So in this case, okay, maybe. Okay, 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 fine. So let's go with Sachin Tendulkar, and then we have some surname. Okay, this is how like everybody will have like okay, first name, middle name, and last name. Last name can be surname. So suppose we want to break this down and we want to take each value and assign to like output is let's divide it into first name and then middle name. Okay, and then surname, for example. Okay, so we know like it's a fixed format, so there will be three values. Okay, and then we want to break this down. So how we can break it using space? We know like uh, we know from reading this. So Sachin Tendulkar surname. So that means using space we can divide the string. I mean the name, and then the first one will be second one, third one. So first one will become the first name, middle name, and this is the surname. So how we can do using Java programming? So full name dot. There is something called split. Split of full. Okay. Split using there is something called delimiter. Okay. So split based on space. We are telling. So okay, let's go inside. There is something called regex. You can use regex or we can use any small characters like underscore or colon. In this case, we are using space to divide the, I mean, break the string. Okay, and then so this split we can see here. So this returns string array as the list of strings as the result. So names we can say. So it is a string array that is returning. If you say just like this, it will give error, compile time error, because the return type of the method should match to the variable we are assigned to. Okay, now we can assign this first name equal to arrays. You know how we can access using index. There are three index, so that's why we have so middle name will be the second value that is index one, and similarly surname. So that is names of two. That okay. So now let's print. Let's print. Okay, we want to print first name as first name. Three. Okay. So we are printing all the values. Okay. So now, okay, let's print full name. Okay. Okay. So that is okay. Let's run this out. Okay. What we will do, we will print even before even splitting. Okay. Let's see how it. Okay. So maybe we will comment this code, okay, just to avoid confusion. Okay, so now what we need, variable declaration, like a string variable, and then we have result variables, and then we are printing before processing and after processing. Okay, so let's say, okay, so let's say, so we are saying after processing. Okay, similarly before processing. Okay, so let's run this. So you can see before processing full name no value because it is default empty. Then after processing, so Sachin Tendulkar surname. So this is how we can break. So like that you can do anything like suppose if you want to count number of words, how many words we have. I mean a word is a sequence of characters without any space. If there is a space, that is breaking up another word. You know, right, in English essays or like while writing a paragraph, so we count the words. So you can take this to even notepad. Okay. So here, if you select this, it will say uh, number of, okay, line number. Okay. Cell, I think generally there will be count of words. Okay. In notepad, we don't have such feature. Okay, fun. That's okay. Like, but you will understand is it like when you, yeah. Okay, in this case also, when you split, we got the array. When you say the size of the array, I mean, the size of the array is nothing but the count of words in that word. So dot length, array length is nothing but a count of words. Okay, let's take this not here. Maybe we will just do it for this message. So if you say the scope of variable is out, this names is defined after this statement to be executed. So that's why we got error because the Java program runs from top to bottom. So that's why we can't use here like names. So here, okay, yeah, string, and then what we need to do, we need to split using space, and then you can do length. Okay, you no need of like properly intended, like only one bracket. So actually you are performing a sequence of things like you are doing. So this is first input. On top of it, you are doing split method. So Java compiler understood like, so after this, it executes from left to right. Like, so when it runs, it returns string array. So the result is also is available here. No need to assign it to variable. We can even assign on top of this result also, we can perform again some operation. So this is advanced way, but this is also another way to do. I mean, instead of doing like assigning into here, we need in this case we can perform directly on top of it. So let's run this. So you can see the count of words is 4. So this is one word, one, two, three, then 4. So like that it is. So we saw split method, to lowercase to uppercase, length, caret. Okay. So these are couple of examples. I would recommend you to try out some more examples Okay, and yeah, okay, there is something called substring. Suppose I want to print, s- okay, there is, okay, okay, let's take one more example for substring. Okay, what we can do, substring is like you want to take part of the string. Suppose we have this message itself. Okay, message 2 because it's already declared. We can't declare it the same name. So now we know, suppose when we, okay, in Java program, traditional way, how we can run a Java program. So using how we can compile Java C and hello world.java. So this is how the Java code will be compiled, and this is the command to run in the command prompt when there is a Java. So Java is already installed. So this is the command to compile the Java class. So here it is saying file not found because this file is not there. We are just giving for example, and this is read by the command prompt like uh, the computer operating system or the software. It will try to identify this whether this is a keyword available in is installed. Then if it is found, then it will call that and pass this parameter as a. So this is one thing. So now what we want to know, we will take the first word, or if you know this is mandatory, like we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters is must. So in that case, we can split based on the length of the how many characters we want. Suppose message 2 dot split, not split, substring. Using a substring, so we, at a fifth character, we want to okay, we want to get the substring. For example, 0 and 5. Let's see what it will do. Means this is the starting index and the end index. Okay, this substring will return a string. This is a substring, means part of the string. So, for example, a command. This is the command. Java C is a command. So this is a string type. Now, suppose, let's say what it is printing. Okay, if you say, so it is printing Java C. Suppose if you 0 to 5, this will not consider. If you use a 6 or 7, then what it will do, it will print till h. That means 5, 6, 7. Total length it will take. I mean, total length is a 7. How many characters we want from 0th index? From 0 to 7 means it will take 0 to 6. Okay, so here also 0 to 5 means 0 to 4 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why it is printing till Java C. Okay, and then we want to know file name. This is one real time example, small example, how we can use Java methods. Okay, so message 2 dot. So we want rest of the string. That means it should start from 0, 6 because we want to avoid space. Okay, then we are starting from 6th character. That means 7th letter, 6th index. That means 7th character, and then we no need to give. Here we can give what we can give is message 2 dot length. So like that we can give, or if we don't give anything, it will consider complete remaining string. This is the starting index and the remaining. Okay, so So we can print. Okay, this is incorrect variable name. So you can see, so it is printing. So this is another example for substring. This is one example. Okay, so we saw split substring few methods, and suppose you want to get particular index. Okay, suppose we want to get the index of space. In this method, we have a comma or a space. So we want to get the particular index of that item. Suppose we have, okay, we want to get a dot position. Okay, what is the location of the dot? Okay, the point, or this is dot index of here we can give dot, or we can give a like this single character or double, like we can give index of Java also. So like that we can give. In this case, we want to get the index of dot. What is the exact position of that dot? So you can see it is saying not found because in the message dot is not there, but it is there in the message too because we are using incorrect variable that is giving the return type is integer for the index of. Okay, so that's why we get -1 if it doesn't found. Okay, now it should give 16. You can see, so the 16th position is dot. So like that we can get the index also. Okay, so these are some of the methods. We can go deeper, like we can explore, but for now these are enough, and I would recommend you to try